Today, we were working on that dump truck. Not this one over here. That's not in my budget. This ran when parked absolute jewel. That's in my budget. If you remember, we bought this quite a while ago. It was a ran when parked special, and we did a couple videos on it for some fantastic content. She is falling apart as she sits here and rots away. And we did get it running. She was locked up. We got her running. We went through a few things, got it figured out. And then it made some clunking sounds and it quit running. And we walked away from it for several months. Well, today, we're gonna do a little bit more investigating. See, the thing is, I've got like 5 projects on the property, and I bought this to move dirt on the property. I'm at the point where I need it on every single one of those projects here in about the next month, so I kind of need to get this thing going. It has to be kind of a gentle operation. Careful. So I reached out to another channel, Wes from Watch Wes Work, and I said, where would you start? We're not quite sure. When I say we, I mean me and the YouTube videos that I try to watch and figure out how to fix things. Because I'm certainly not a mechanic. I think it's something on the top end. Possibly a valve, a broken rocker, something going on. And if the valve covers were more accessible, my first stop would be just take the valve covers off and see what's happening. But you can see that they're pretty buried on both sides. There it is on this side. They just got the whole Ford assembly plant stacked on top of them. Well, that's handy. So here's what we're going to do instead. I took Wes's advice and I bought a tool. This is from Vever. I bought this. They have sent me stuff in the past, but this one I bought with my own money. It's just a little scope camera. We can wiggle her around, peek around the corners. It does have a light on it. The only reason I went with the Vever is because it's got an SD card slot, so I can share the footage. I don't have to try to record the screen to show you. I can just record it on that SD card and then show you the actual footage. We're gonna go down each spark plug hole, see if there's something obvious like a valve sitting on top of a cylinder. And if we see nothing there, we'll see if we can't go inside the vent on the valve cover and peek around. Today is strictly an exploratory mission to see what's next. I really need this thing doing something here. We're just gonna go one plug at a time here. Ouch. Not sure how well the crunch picked up on microphone, but I definitely just broke that plug. That's okay. Pretty sure I broke it. Yep. Anyway, we'll shove her in a hole and we'll see what we find. That's the top of the piston. Just kind of looking around. I want to try to look up. There you go. Scoring on the cylinder for sure. We're not too worried about that. But looks like both valves are there. There's nothing laying on top of this, on top of the piston. That's what I'm. In my head, it's like maybe one of the keepers on the valve broke or something, and the valve came out. I don't know. I'm just going off of the sound that I know nothing about. It's only 2 things to take out to check everything on the top side under the valve cover. So let's do that first and see if we can find anything in there. There is a chance that it's something electrical. That's always an option. It just sounded very mechanical, you know, like it sounded like something gave out. Oh yeah, and we're in. Okay. Let's take a look around here. You can see that should be It's easy to get a little disoriented. That should be the front. You can actually see, it's pretty crazy how clear that is. You can see the keeper on there. At least one cylinder. Now, the question is, can I get can't access the dang hose clamps, they're buried behind it. There we go. Spin that around. Okay, now I get to my 2 clamps there, or at least that one, and we'll take it off. That might make it a little easier to get her up. No, I heard it when I said it. It's just, we're gonna punch that. That hurt. Okay, that's fine. Everything's fine. Looking at it there. What is that? Somehow I ended up in a push rod. There's a push rod on the back side. This side has this little filter built in, this little mesh. Couldn't get it on, or couldn't get the camera through. So I did the right thing and just beat on it until I got it off there. I thought there would be a plate on the inside. Normally there's like a little plate on the inside of these, and there sure was. So I didn't really have good access here for the camera. So to see what's going on this side, I think we're gonna go ahead and have to take the valve cover off. So we were able to see a little bit with scoping, and if a fellow knew what he was looking at, it's probably a pretty handy tool. But honestly, I think I just want to get the valve covers off and put my eyes and hands on it and see what we actually got going on in there, which means we've got quite a bit we have to tear off of that. And I don't want to get this thing torn down on Mike's property. This is Dirt Perfect's lot, just in case you're new to the channel and you didn't know, he's the one that owns this. This is not ours. This thing of beauty, proudly ours. This whole area, not. So I need to get this up to the shop, but before we get this up to the shop, I need the Super Duty running and driving so we can go park it out of the way, because I try really hard to not turn my property into a junkyard, because this is the shop and she's pretty stacked up right now. Parts coming for that. It's all electrical. We're reworking the battery system and the starter and that kind of thing, but she's fine. She just needs a little bit of those lightning bolts to help get her spinning, and we're working on it. This is what I want to get out of here, because despite the way I film and it looks like I live in the middle of nowhere, from right where I stand, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses, all within 200 feet, I would say. I am that neighbor, and I try to keep it somewhat organized. So I don't want to drag another truck up here unless I can get it tucked in behind the building with my other perceivable junk. First step to fixing a problem is admitting you have one. Now, to be fair, this truck does run and drives, actually. We put a bunch of work into it. Doesn't stop though, that's the big thing. We've got a magic part that's supposed to solve all our problems. By the way, I ordered what is supposed to be the fanciest new brake line, and that's called Lying in the description off Amazon, which is frustrating. I need to get a picture of that for the review section so people know what they're actually getting. It's supposed to be like a nickel copper line that doesn't corrode and is easy to work with. The rest will tell you otherwise there. This is a Ford Super Duty. It's got what's called a proportional braking system. This contraption here, it mounts up on the frame. This attaches right there on the axle. The principle's pretty simple. The more weight you put on the bed, the more the suspension compresses. And with this attached to the frame and this little arm attached to the axle, that adjusts where that lever is at, and you get proportional braking. You're supposed to get more aggressive braking, or more powerful braking, I should say, the more weight that is on the truck. Cool concept, not uncommon. Most people with these Super Duties, though, end up deleting these. Main reason they can become problematic. I don't know if this one works or not. I don't think you can get replacements for them, and they're difficult to find parts for as far as trying to rebuild it. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna delete it. To do that, this magic box is supposed to have our answer. It is a center brake line for the rear brakes off of just a regular F350 and not off of a Super Duty. And you can see all it is just a T. So we can tie into the brake line there and then tee off to either side, eliminating that proportional valve. It's replacing this block right here. The first step's gonna be getting that off of there. Give her some little shocks here. That'll help. Probably not. A line wrench would help. Fella don't have one. Fella don't got one, is the way we just said that. So this is the diff vent. The odds we get that off without breaking it too, I'm sure, pretty good. Oh, a little smacking went a long way. Okay. There's not too many problems on a vehicle that a hammer just won't solve, you know? I just gotta get that out. Let's see, I got a 9/16, but it looks perfect was what I was gonna say. Okay, oh, that didn't. Yeah. Oh, that's not what we wanted. Okay, so that, see that? That is an ideal scenario, because what that means is now we get to purchase a brand new axle vent, you know? And I mean, what a luxury. It's really not even stuck in there. I just kind of hit it crooked, I guess. Yep, there we go. You know, a bolt that size wouldn't hurt my feelings right now. But at least keep that closed up until we get it ordered. Okay. Now the other truck will perform better for us as a dump truck than what this would. This would make a fine little single axle dump, but that one's gonna be even better. So we decided to make this into a flatbed we can pull a gooseneck trailer with. So if you're trying to figure out where the priority is at on this one, I don't even own a gooseneck trailer yet. So the dump truck is the priority. So in this kit, it comes with a little stop. So we run that stop in bottom of the line out on it. Snug this little block up. Take that out. It's got a little flare tool, and it's got instructions on it, F1 and F2, so flare 1, flare 2 maybe, I don't know. Anyway, common sense prevails on that one. We do F1 first. And then we end up with a flare fitting. That's what we end up with on it. That's what we got going on in here. Nothing too fancy. We're gonna do next, I got some brake fluid. We're gonna pour it in there. Just to try to save a little time on the bleeding, I'm gonna try to take my little hand pump here and see if we can't just pull any through, at least to, oh buddy, hold on now. At least to this point. Nothing more than just a little hand pump, a little cheapie I got off Amazon. It's got a little reservoir cup, so you don't accidentally suck the fluid through the pump. And we'll just build a vacuum. I just got the hose over the flare. Just try and pull the fluid through. So that's when I pump the brakes just a few times to get the fluid going. And then I just kind of leave her sit on the vacuum. It'll keep pulling those air bubbles out. There's a big one. We're just leaving it hold on some vacuum. Just let it keep doing its thing for a little bit. As it's saying up there, we're gonna try to not break these bleeder valves and get these ready to go, because once we make that connection, we'll have to pull from down here too. No way. Well, now that is wild. I don't know if you can tell, but this one's also caked with dirt, so we're going to take it all the way out and clean it up. Yep. And let's go ahead and finger tight that bleed screw back in and see if we get as much luck on the other one. We're gonna check something out here in a second. We got a haze with some smoke, so either the Forest Service is burning or the forest is burning. Either way, something's burning, and I just need to know if it's supposed to be or not supposed to be, because that changes what I do in the next few minutes. I don't know if you can pick up the haze or not. Oh yeah, look, there's smoke there. We're gonna have to go investigate that here in a little bit, just make sure. Watch your eyes. Put that back in. It's looking pretty good over here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and snug this one back up. I've always been told to bleed the longest line first. Yeah, I think there's a field fire somewhere. Let's go look real quick. You guys burning?
Yep, we're burning.
You on the north side of the ridge?
We're pretty much doing this entire area, so I don't know where they're at currently.
Okay. All right. Just checking. I don't know if you could, that's something. I don't know if you can see her sitting at the trailhead there. She's just making sure hikers and stuff don't come through. They normally post somebody up at all the trailheads when they burn. We are surrounded by Hoosier National Forest. We're actually down on neighbor Gary's property right now. I just want to do a quick lap and make sure. They do a really good job at what they do. There's our U.S. Forest Service markers. They run along the property. You can see that head of smoke there, so they're on the north side of that ridge. And then you can see that one, so they're up on that ridge too. But they burn every year, and if they're burning up against your property, they send you a letter. You get a phone call if the dates change because of weather or something. They do a really good job of communicating that. But because this burn isn't against our property, we didn't have a heads up about it. And I just wanted to double check and make sure that nothing crazy wasn't going on, because there's been times in the past where it's like, oh, that's the Forest Service burning. And then, 8 hours later, it was not the Forest Service burning. So everything's golden though. You can see it a little bit better from there. We were just down over the hill down in that valley. That's good though. All right, so we're gonna lose it a little bit whenever we make this connection, but that's okay. Main thing is we got the bulk of that line filled. Get this temporary setup on here. Permanent temporary probably, but it is what it is. Wow, there's nothing fit on here. We got that side snugged up. We're just working on this side. But I feel like you could pump it and get something if you needed to. We still have a clutch. That's good. A little bit of that action ain't gonna hurt nothing. So we do have this thing in a running state, but it's slightly at a time, so it doesn't idle the best. I'm gonna try to mess with it just a little bit. A fella's supposed to use a timing gun and point it down. It's hard to see, but there's timing marks on the balancer down there. And you hook the timing gun up to, I believe, the coil and the battery, and it flashes a light at a specific time, and it makes it look like that's standing still, and you can verify where the timing marks are at. I'm just going to loosen it here and do some gentle turns left and right until she smooths out a little bit better than what she is now. She's smooth. She's super smooth. Give her a minute here. I think it sounds better, don't you? Yeah. She agrees. She thinks it sounds better. I think it idles a little bit better. I don't have a tack in there, so I don't know exactly where it's at, but it sounds, I mean, better. Doesn't sound like it's going to die the whole time. We can always pick up a timing light from the auto parts store. Dirt Perfect probably has one if we want to borrow it to get it perfect. But you can see it didn't take a tremendous amount of movement from where we were at. I'm going to snug that down, and we'll give the pedal a little push too, just to kind of make sure we're good on everything as far as that goes. Brake pedal, I mean. And then we'll go get this thing parked at the gym. Let's see if we can get this thing limped down the road. Fingers crossed on this one, fellas. A little bit of that, a little bit of this. Does anybody remember the shift pattern? Where's the knob at? Primarily, which way is reverse is the number one concern here. Well, okay. Gotta be that then. It's not that one. Does the truck have reverse? Yeah, it does. Brakes are working, so that's fantastic. That would not be good at this point in time. All right, here we go. Around the corner. Power steering's working. That's a treat. Let's see. Should be 1, 2, 3. I don't know where 3's at. That should be 4. That should be reverse. It is. 1, 2, maybe 3 is all the way over and up. Maybe 3 is right in the middle. There it is. Couldn't find 3 on the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, reverse. Okay. They're all there. That's good. I wasn't sure at first. Made her first maiden voyage down a hill, and the brakes worked, so that's good. She actually felt, oh, that's right, forgot. That doesn't do anything. All right, hold on. And now there's a spot for a white dump truck, almost. We're gonna rearrange this a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and get this cut up. If you remember, this bed's all junk. And not only is it junk, it's also covered in junk. But we're gonna basically cut all the sides off because the side steel is still in somewhat decent shape, and I'm a little bit of a steel hoarder, especially with the price of things. We can get that stacked up against the wall, the rest of the scrap metal in the scrap metal pile, this trailer out a little further, implements rearranged, and the truck's gonna come right in here behind the building. That way we can have it up here and work on it, but still be kind of hidden from view from all the other homes. That's the goal. There are a lot of little projects here, like this 755, I'm standing on the 555 behind you, the Super Duty for sure, and that white dump truck. Those are the extra time projects. We need that stuff up and running and to be able to use it, but I think I can speak for anybody. The weather this winter, it was a butt-kicking winter. I mean, unless you have a nice, big, heated indoor shop and that kind of a setup, if you're doing any kind of work like we are, where the bulk of it is outside and and most of your stuff, you got to work on it for a day to use it for 2. It was a butt-kicking winter. I just don't have another way to say it. I'm a fairly optimistic person, and try to find the brighter side of things even when they kind of go sideways. But man, just trying to get the progress done that we got done on any of the projects. Sometimes you let stuff go to get progress done on things, and keeping this what it's supposed to be and keeping things like this running like they're supposed to be kind of get shoved to the side. They're definitely not forgotten projects because I need them to do some of the things we need to get done. But man, they definitely got shoved to the side. I can't lie to you about that, and I think you guys saw that. With all that being said, that's it for this video. We literally just got back from vacation last night, and the youngest is on her way over. We're gonna go do some hiking, probably in the opposite direction of where they're burning. Can't thank you guys enough for watching, and I hope, I don't know, I forgot what I was gonna say.